everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the No Signal Show.
Hello.
We are your hosts, and these are our names. So, Kieran.
Hi, Nick. What's been happening?
Just, can you let everybody know what the show's about and what we have in mind?
Well, sure. Okay, so this is just a couple of guys on a couch talking about what's going on in the world of tech.
Yes, and drinking beer. And hopefully the quality of the beer will go up with our budget. We're currently on Carlsberg.
Yes. Well, cheers to that.
Cheers to the first episode.
And to you.
And let's get going. So the first story that I have today is about Tim Cook. You know what Tim Cook is?
Timmy, old mate.
He's the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world, CEO of Apple. And basically, 3 days ago at the Time 100 Summit, he said that he wants everybody to put down their iPhone.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. Apparently, people are using their phones too much, and it's become a thing. And apparently, Tim Cook thinks he uses his phone too much, and he's disabled all of his notifications on his iPhone.
Really? All of them?
Pretty crazy story. Well, it might be a PR thing, I don't know. But basically, you know, with the whole Apple concerned about privacy and doing the right thing, and it might fall under that. But basically, Tim Cook, he went on stage and said that Apple never wanted to maximize user time. We've never been about that. And he basically said that he's turned off all of his notifications and he feels like a better person just by doing that.
Okay, well, I have some questions. I mean, he's the CEO of Apple, so
yes.
I imagine that means that he probably already, at some point, had to like shut down various notifications because he probably just gets a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, but now he's come out and he's saying like, you know, I don't do any notifications.
Yeah. He says, let me find it here.
How does he operate?
He said, if you guys aren't doing this, if you have an iPhone and you're not doing it, I would encourage you to really do this. Monitor this push notifications.
Yeah, right.
What it has done for me personally is I've got in and gutted the number of notifications. Because I asked myself, do I really want to be getting thousands of notifications a day?
You know, he probably, he would. It'd be all like, Tim, the warehouse is on fire.
The thing is, like, it's hard to know how many notifications a day you're getting. Like, you might have 10 or so apps that you get notifications from in a day. But, like, have you ever, like, counted? I think the Screen Time app counts the number of notifications. But it'd be interesting to know, like, how many actual notifications you're getting a day.
Yeah, so his point is about notifications specifically, not he doesn't care about screen time because they introduced that screen time tracking in September last year with iOS 12. So is that not enough? He wants people to turn off notifications.
Those who don't know, Screen Time is basically an app that comes by default on your iPhone that tells you how much time you're spending on your apps and what categories of apps you're spending most time in. So if you're on Facebook or Instagram the whole day, it would basically say you're spending too much time on social networking apps. You can even set limits. So I have a 2-hour limit on social networking apps at the moment. And most of the time, the screen just tells me that I've reached the limit and I ignore it. Yeah.
That's
but still.
Yeah, mine. I have some aggressive targets. I think Facebook is 10 minutes or something.
Really?
Yeah.
And you never hit it?
Yeah, I hit it all the time. And then I stop using it.
Do you stop using or you just ignore the thing?
I'm like, you're right, Tim. I'm gonna put my phone down because, you can quickly be absorbed by stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're not really present with your friends and family, and you're just watching cat videos.
That's true.
Or consuming too many podcasts.
So basically, the article goes on to suggest some things that Apple could have done instead of the way push notifications are today. And they basically say that it's been Apple's fault, really, that push notifications are the way they are today, because they gave developers full access to reach any user at any given point in time, and that's just been the default, and every app has leveraged that to the fullest. So of course you're going to get thousands of notifications every day. Yeah. And what the article goes on to suggest is some mechanisms that could have been instead of the system that it is today. So they're saying you could have batches of notifications. So for example, a user can set certain times when they want to be notified, and then they get notified about multiple things at once in one go.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Another approach is having like a timeline of things, like a feed of things that have happened, like sort of the Facebook timeline.
So you check your phone feed instead of your
and then you
Facebook
just check.
feed.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago you got an email, and 4 minutes ago you had a missed call or a voicemail, or somebody commented on your photo.
You got the missed call because you didn't get the notification that someone was ringing you, right?
Yep. And they're basically saying that it's Apple's fault that notifications are the way they are today.
Yeah, I think you'd probably forgive them for, like, no one, when they did the iPhone, 10 years ago, they wouldn't have anticipated how people were really going to use it.
Exactly, and that's what Tim says as well. Because they didn't even want to do an app store to begin with.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
when the iPhone first launched, there were no apps other than the Apple-made apps. And what happened is that people started complaining, and they wanted to have an app store where third-party developers could build apps and sell. And Apple doesn't do this a lot, but they eventually caved to the pressure and released the App Store, and that was one of the biggest things. It's now making billions of dollars every year, and it's going well. But basically, if you think about like some of the scenarios that they suggest, if it was a timeline or if it was batched, like some of the apps that rely on real-time notifications today, they just wouldn't exist because they wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, you wouldn't know when your Uber was arriving.
Exactly. You wouldn't know when your pizza was done and ready for pickup.
Your friends would just be annoyed at you because you're not replying to your messages. Maybe there's a hybrid idea where there's a priority system. And I believe they have it on Android. Developers can indicate if something is high priority. But I bet you most developers would just say it's all high priority.
Yeah. So what do you do these days? Like, you download an app, and first thing it asks is, the app wants to send you push notifications. Yes or no?
No.
No. I'm the same. Yeah.
Well, you've got to understand what the app is going to do.
Exactly. So many apps just flat out just ask you the first question, like, to turn on push notifications. I haven't even checked out the app. I don't know what the app is about, and they want me to enable my attention.
Yeah, some apps do it well. Maybe there's... Yeah. Well, do you think this is going to influence... is this like a hint at maybe what's coming later in the year with iOS 13?
I think so. And even last year, they did this thing where you could just disable notifications from a certain app altogether.
Yeah. Can't you... Oh, you could always do that, but they like...
Yeah, they made it even easier.
Yeah.
When you get a notification, you can... From that screen, you can straight away disable push notifications.
Because you're angry in the moment. You're like... Just
and some people are alleging that they're going after Facebook again with this whole thing because they've kind of been enjoying going after Facebook.
There's an image there. I don't know if that's supplied or that but that's Facebook.
I think that's just TechCrunch. But I think they are really trying to
the punching bags
differentiate themselves as being a privacy conscious company, and they want to do the right thing and so on and so forth.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So what do you got?
All right. Well, I saw this really, I'm going to say an adorable article. It's something that I'd never seen before. Well, I haven't. Let me just get to the point. The article is about a company called Kiwi, and Kiwi make a food delivery robot. Okay. And there's been a bunch of people who have, talked about this idea before.
Yep.
And there's drones. and stuff. But this in particular is a four-wheeled. It looks like an esky in Australian terms, a chili bin for you folks in New Zealand, which Kiwis. Anyway, this is an American company, I think, and they have this robot, and it's got a little screen on the front, and it like has a face. So you see it.
Does it smile at you? And
I think it does. Yeah. There's a video where they demo it.
So it's not one of those mean robots that you kick and they.
No, yeah. If you kick this one, I think it'll fall over and it'll start to bleed burritos. So you wouldn't want to do that. And anyway, this article is about how they're expanding their operation, and they've started out, I think, in UC Berkeley, which is a university in the San Francisco Bay Area, and basically they reckon they've done 34,000 meals, delivered to people. And I guess the way it works is you probably use their app to order something, a bit like Uber Eats.
Yep.
Except that it's going to come to you probably a little slower, trundling along in this little robot.
Okay, so do these things go on the road, or are they
well, they say
navigating on the sidewalk?
They say it's in a campus, but there's a map here that shows the surrounding streets in the Berkeley area. And based on what they also say in this little demo they give, that they do have to cross roads. So what I thought was interesting about this, other than it's got this adorable face, these things are not fully autonomous. Even though they probably could be, they're actually semi-autonomous. So they have human operators who hang out in some kind of like a command center, and one person will help to guide like 5 of these things at a time. And maybe our producer.
So they have no smarts.
Embed how this works, but there's a sweet GIF here, which like an operator can see what's in front, and they're just basically clicking around and sort of telling it, that's your next waypoint, And this is like real time camera footage. There's people.
So it's kind of like those games. You just click where they should go.
Yeah. So I guess it's like you're just juggling all of these machines.
the robot itself has no smarts.
It must have something. It sounds like they tried. Yeah, they tried to go fully autonomous, and it worked most of the time. Which they're smart enough to know that that's not really going to work if you're delivering someone's food, and that's the problem with these ideas. Like, yeah, you can picture it in a perfect world. Like maybe if the campus has completely flat roads and all the humans around are really well behaved, then maybe something like this could work. But in the real world, people are like, neighborhoods are just like hectic.
Is your food locked?
Yeah. It's I don't know how that works, but
I saw the other day.
Kind of a system.
I was stuck at a traffic light in my car, and I observed 2 young girls trying to steal pizza from a Domino's pizza bike, while the delivery person was obviously like in the building delivering the pizza.
Oh, I thought they're waiting at the lights, and
no, I was at the lights.
Someone's behind them, and he's like, "Hey!"
I was at the lights, and they were like trying to get into the pizza.
That's dirty.
That's what's going to happen with this thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Apparently,
people are going to try to.
Apparently, it's locked. Yeah, I just thought it was
people
interesting.
People steal ATMs, and ATMs have pretty, full-on security.
Drags them away. Yeah.
They're definitely going to try to steal those things.
Apparently, the operators are in Colombia, which apparently that's where the co-founders of this company are from, and they've said
I see what they're doing here.
Colombia is known for many other things.
It's a front. It's a front.
Yeah, everyone gets a little bonus with their burrito. Well, anyway, they're expanding into
100% genius.
Other universities, and apparently the way they're doing it is they're kind of like getting students, other like students of other campuses in
Yep.
robotics clubs and stuff to help get this off the ground, because that's basically where they came from. So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what happens if this thing falls over? Let's say there's a
apparently
kid that just knocks it over in the middle of the road, and so they have to send out a person. The food is ruined.
they probably have somebody near, in the area that could go and, I guess it's like a scale thing. They can do more deliveries with less people.
I have an idea.
Than like Uber.
They could crowdsource the whole thing. So you know how Lime scooters, for example, there's people who take them home and charge them. They're called juicers. So they could have people who go and pick up, fallen.
It does say
Kiwi robots.
The founders say that the community has really adopted the little vehicles, and should one overturn or be otherwise interfered with, it is often set on its way soon after by a passerby. Isn't that heartwarming?
Man, I don't know. People are just gonna do so many things to these, robots.
This is Berkeley University. These
people
are probably well behaved.
Imagine if it scales to outside of Berkeley. Like, people are gonna write things on it, and they're gonna put I don't know, Polaroids of things into where your food is.
You kind of just want to throw a sheet on it or something, so the operator can't. It's just trundling along.
Or that, yeah. Or they're just gonna pick it up, and the wheels are just whizzz.
Yeah. Apparently, one of them caught on fire some time ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else is trying to do this, but I think Domino's have been interested.
They have some sort of a robot already, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty high tech, Domino's. They try all these weird things.
So they've sent 40 robots out to 12 campuses. Okay. These are all in the US, I think.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Do you think people in the Bay Area are just used to experiments like this?
I know. I was thinking this as well. You'd have to be okay with trying out a new service and then expecting it to disappear.
Sometimes I just imagine there's living in Bay Area, you just have things flying around and little robots delivering food.
It's normal, yeah.
Yeah. Weird self-driving cars crashing into posts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, to be strange. But anyway, that's what's new in the Bay Area. What do you got?
That's a cool story, yeah. I can't wait for those robots. Next story that I have is about a chimp. And this has been going on all over Twitter. And it's basically a short video of a chimp using Instagram. Have you seen it?
I have actually seen this.
It's ridiculous. It's so good. So this chimp. So the video starts off with the chimp holding a phone.
Yeah.
And then you just look at it, and he's looking at this Instagram app. And then he just navigates back and scrolls through the feed. Then picks another item, taps it, looks at it. No, didn't like it. Scrolls down, and then finds another item.
Did you like anything?
This one is a video, so he keeps looking at it.
Yeah.
He likes it. He's like, nah, what's next?
Does he figure out the double tap gesture?
Yeah. Yeah. It double taps. It doesn't tap. It thinks it's a double tap.
Look, it's 2019, and I really just have one question for this. Is it real?
Yes. So I've been researching this story for years.
Because I want it to be real.
Apparently, chimps have an extraordinary visual memory.
Really?
More way better than humans. And I'm going to show you this video, which you probably haven't seen. So
try me.
They did this experiment, and this is on BBC Earth, where basically they have this computer game for a human. And it's a memory. It's one of those standard memory games where there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's different cards.
Concentration.
And then they go away, and you have to remember where the cards were.
Yeah.
And so
this test. He's a college graduate and a crossword.
A college graduate and a crossword addict does it.
When Chris reckons he has memorized the layout, he touches 1. When the others are hidden, he must try to recall 2 to 9.
What a champion.
And he's just, he tries to do it. He's pretty slow.
Gets harder, does it?
It takes me ages to remember where
So, fortunately, we have a great producer on this show who's going to probably put the salient points of this video on the screen for you.
That's going to happen.
If you're listening to this without the video, I don't know.
You should just trust us.
Good luck.
So you can hear the crossword enthusiast being annoyed at the game because he can't progress. So let's see what happens next. So he's basically playing the game. He's not really good at it, and he's supposed to be good at it. But then, you bring in the chimp, and he's just like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, boom, 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 boom.
When Ayumu sat the same test, he correctly remembered
was that a reward? Did it?
Yeah.
I'm curious about how they get these. Animals
they give them a reward. Yeah.
Almost every time.
Does he get a reward?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Chris fears
this is
his species
yeah.
But he
basically chimps have incredible visual memory. And maybe that's and apparently they can interact with objects and interact with the computer screen and do tapping and pressing buttons, and they know how that all works.
Yeah, the monkeys, they're not too far away from us, I suppose. Yeah, I've occasionally seen videos like this over the years.
But it's awesome. And I mean, it goes to show again that how intuitive user interfaces are these days. Apps like Instagram. Everything's gesture-based. You tap and then you swipe away. You tap, you swipe away. And, there was this story where they gave an iPad to, like, a little kid who had never seen an iPad before. And he figured out how to use it. And they give iPads to old people, and they figure out how to use it.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with getting immediate feedback.
Yeah,
the chimp doesn't need to know that this is an app and it's on a phone and what else the phone does. Like if he touches something, it'll move a little, and he'll know like, oh, I can keep I can push this around.
So you wouldn't be able to do this with a mouse in a computer user interface.
It's a bit disconnected that way. Yeah.
But I thought it was cool. Yeah, this chimp has 100,000 likes on Instagram, Twitter. I keep saying Instagram.
He's using Instagram.
Yeah.
Is it a he?
I don't know.
It's very hairy, either way.
For a she. So, yeah, I found that fascinating.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, is it my turn again?
It is.
Okay, well...
And we're running out of beer.
We're running out of beer. We're running out of time. This is all high stress. Maybe we'll try and keep this short. This is like a bit of a gaming story. It's interesting because it's not very often that this happens. But if you're a PC gamer, you would definitely know about the Steam.
I'm not a PC gamer, and I definitely know about Steam.
Yeah, well, I'm not much of a PC gamer either, but Steam, for those who don't know, it's like a place you can go to buy games for your PC, and it has a bunch of other social features, and it's just been around forever, since, I don't know, early 2000s.
Yep.
And it's kind of the default, and more recently people have tried to topple it, create alternatives for it. And more recently, Epic Games did. And Epic Games, you would know from Fortnite.
Yep.
And they have a shitload of cash.
They do.
So they're having a crack at this, and they have an actual chance. And it's been a real controversial thing because they've been doing game exclusives.
Yep.
Which PC gamers, personally, I'm not too worried about this, but I understand people are really angry that there's exclusives. So you sort of have to go through this system to get a game, and it's just so they can grow the platform. But the platform's really early, so it's missing all these features that Steam has and people enjoy. Anyway, this news, which is fresh, is that Epic has said. This was kind of casually through Twitter, but the CEO of Epic indicated or essentially laid down the gauntlet that if Steam offered developers a better cut of the money that they bring in, then they would get rid of the exclusives. And this comes back to kind of like Steam takes a 30% cut.
Oh, wow. The Apple way.
Yes, it is the Apple way. And, that can be a significant amount of cash for these companies who are making games, which is like a real tough game to be in. And the Epic Games Store takes 12%, I think. And they basically said, if Steam just comes out and matches us, then like our work is done kind of thing, and we don't need to do this like exclusive thing. Okay. So it's interesting because it's like this kind of big showdown between these big players. And probably gamers will win in the end, I'm sure.
That's competition. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. So do you play Fortnite?
I've played Fortnite like twice maybe on a PlayStation, and my strategy was to hide. Which is probably what would happen if I was thrown in a 100 player deathmatch to the end, and for some reason the weather kept enclosing. I'd just be like, I want to hide and see what happens. Spoiler alert, you run out of space and everyone kills you. Have you played it?
Yeah.
How'd you go?
I've played it on an iPhone, so my strategy was to try to figure out how to play it on the iPhone.
It can't be that bad. I think a lot of people are playing it on there. All right. Well, apparently we've got a couple of minutes left, so I don't want to hog the limelight or anything. But I did come across this hilarious other story, which is game related.
You go for it.
I'll just read the headline. Really, fan assaults top Smash Brothers player with crab at tournament.
What?
This is a Smash Brothers competition.
The crab was dead is the subtitle. The crab was dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Some guy, snuck in a crab, like an uncooked crab, to this competition, and then when it was over, and the winner is like shaking the hand of this other guy, like someone hurls a crab at him.
It's classic gamer stuff.
And there's this kind of video of him like reacting to it, and he's just like, "What the hell?"
Where's the crab?
Well, it was thrown, so you probably missed it. And he's like, "What is this?"
No, he picks up the crab. It's like I have a dead crab.
And he's like to the crowd, "Who threw this?"
Well, at least the crab was dead. Otherwise it would be like an animal rights issue.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's just there are just so many questions about this. I mean, what did this guy do to deserve having something thrown at him?
Crab?
Why a crab? How premeditated was this?
But he gets people talking, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
We should have a crab on our next episode.
We could be eating crab.
We could be. We need to up the budget a little.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for the inaugural episode, the first ever episode of the No Signal Show. Maybe in some future episodes we'll explain the name, but for now, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're your hosts. See you next time.
Bye-bye.